Hello there, and welcome to another spotlight session. I'm Cindy, and I am the founder of this group, Essentials for Peace and Balance, and the Cindy Brockway YouTube channel. So it is so nice to be here with you guys this evening to share some of the thoughts on our mind. We've had a number of people who joined us and were interested in this topic. So I am looking forward to just sharing a little bit of insight with you today. So we have got some things that we're going to talk about here, and it is going to focus on when you feel torn, how to choose without feeling regret or a feeling like you don't know what you're going to say or how you're going to say it or when you want to do it. There's just a lot of things that kind of go on. And okay, sometimes decisions that need to be made don't feel heavy because they're very complicated. That's not necessarily what makes decision making kind of heavy, is it? They feel heavy because you've been carrying them around. So that's why you feel uncomfortable. You feel like you're going back and forth on something, you're replaying it over and over again in your mind. It could be maybe a difficult conversation that you had or that needs to be had. Maybe you're trying to weigh the options if you're getting ready to make a purchase or make a change. Or maybe you're just waiting for clarity to just show up. And if that's what you have in mind, if any of those kind of ring a bell, then this spotlight session is for you. Because being torn doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, that you're scatterbrained, that you just can't make decisions. What it really means most of the time is that you really do care and that you don't want to ignore what matters, what's important. And so it feels a little uncomfortable. And for the next few minutes, we are not going to decide anything. Even though we're talking about decisions, we're not going to decide anything. We are going to just spend a few minutes noticing what's actually happening underneath that tug of war that you feel when you're torn, when you're torn between two decisions, two options, or maybe even more. So, this is just going to be a short, focused pause. It's time for you to just tune everything else out, listen, maybe take some notes, or simply just reflect quietly to yourself and know that you only need to come away with one insight. One insight. That's it. That's all this is about. It's just giving you an opportunity to think and to kind of sort things out. So, if you know me very well, you know that I really do enjoy using my essential oils. And if you happen to have an essential oil nearby, I have Clarity Sage that I'm using. You're welcome to drop a, a drop, put a drop in your palm, cup it, And it's okay if you don't. That's all right. But if you do, put a drop in your hands and take a slow, deep breath and just give yourself permission to listen for a few minutes, not to make any decisions, just to listen. And if you're using clary sage, it is a great oil to use to support that inner listening. You know, when moments feel uncertain, clarity sage sometimes helps. So I'm going to offer you three prompts. And you don't need to have any perfect answers. I want you just to notice what stands out. So get ready. If you're listening to the recording, you might want to pause it, get yourself a piece of paper or get your note app up on your phone because we're going to talk about three specific prompts during this spotlight session. And the first one is, what are two options pulling at you right now? If there's a decision that you need to be making that you're torn between, what are the two options? We're not making a decision, we're just naming them, naming the two options that are pulling at you right now. All right. And then the next one is, what does each option seem to protect or preserve or maybe promise, knowing that there's this decision or this decision? Whether you make this decision or this decision, what is it? What is it going to do for you? So you're really just thinking about the two options and you're doing a little bit of brainstorming. You're just jotting down. If you decide this, what might happen? If you decide this, what might happen? And then the third prompt, what is the cost of staying undecided? Not long term, eventually you're going to have to decide anyway. But what is the cost if for just a little bit, one more day, right now, while you're thinking about it during this spotlight session? What would be the cost if you just didn't decide yet? If you just tabled it for a little bit? Because right now we are not choosing, we're just noticing. We're noticing what our options are. We're noticing what what might come from either of these options that we have. And then just giving yourself permission to table it for a little bit so that you can just kind of notice what's going on and not feel it being so heavy right now. So I want you to think about what we've just mentioned. You've answered the three prompts. You've maybe written some things down. Some things are coming to mind. What is one word that stood out when I asked you those three questions, those three prompts? Um, did you feel relief? Did you feel more pressure? Did you feel fearful or worried or, you know, like the weight of responsibility on you? Think about how you felt. Just notice, write it down, and then I want you to Consider this reframe. When you're dealing with tough decisions, when you're torn between this or that, I want you to think about this. You know what? There may not be a right choice. There might be um, ramifications either way or consequences. Often there is, especially some of those tougher decisions. But when you are making the decision and you're ready to choose, often you will find that there is a right decision for now. Like maybe it's not the decision that you're going to use ultimately on down the line, but for right now, there is a decision that's right. There is an option that you can choose just for right now. And let that sink in. Just because you're making a decision right now doesn't mean you have to stick with that decision long term. But right now, that's the right decision for you. And when we worry or we feel that regret, it's usually not because we chose the wrong answer. You know what it really is? It comes from ignoring ourselves while we choose, for not giving ourselves an opportunity to kind of sort out what it means without making a decision. Just noticing, reflecting, taking time to pause. So I've learned over the last few years that when you're seeking clarity, it doesn't always show up when you push harder or you worry more or you overanalyze every angle of the decision. That often makes it more difficult. So clarity shows up usually when the pressure lets up, plain and simple. Less pressure on yourself, more clarity. That's why I think it's so important for us to notice what's going on and take some of the pressure off when we're trying to decide and when we're torn so that we don't feel that regret. We are giving ourselves time to sort it through, to weigh our options, and then take action just for now. Not for, it's not a forever decision. It's right for right now. So I want you to take a minute to complete this sentence. You can just think about it. You can write it on paper. You can type it in the comments if you want to share. But this is what I want you to do. Ask yourself, or it's not even really a question, it's a statement. If I trusted myself just a little bit more right now, whatever that decision might be, if I trusted myself just a little bit more right now, I might blank and fill it in. You've got some things that you're kind of weighing back and forth. If you trusted yourself a little bit more right now, in making this decision and sorting things out, I might blank. I might what? So you don't have to answer that right now. It's something I want you to think about, though. And I want you to just notice what came to mind. That if I trusted myself just a little bit more right now, you might what? What is coming to mind for you? And if it helps, write down your answer to that and then underline a word that feels steady for you. Something in what you wrote. Underline a few of those words that just feel steady, more calm, less frustrating. All right. And now I want us to take another calming breath. And I want you to notice, did anything shift when we were talking about this topic? When we were reading the prompts and responding? Even slightly? Did anything shift? If you want, feel free to share it. If you want to, you can message me. And so before we wrap up, I want to offer you something simple to take with you. After this session, if you are sorting through your thoughts, insights can surface later. And when you're back in real life and the decisions feel loud again, and you're going to actually have to make a decision, then I want to share with you a one-page guide that I created. It's been probably a couple years ago, and it's called From Willpower to Wisdom. So instead of powering through those decisions, making decisions from a place of wisdom. And this guide, it's really not something you have to complete right now or you have to work through it all at once. It's just a template that you can return to anytime you want to when you just want to pause, realign, and decide from a steadier place. It's a decision-making guide. So if you would like this guide, comment willpower in the comments below, or message that word to me. Type willpower, and then I'll get your email address and I'll send that guide to you. So, and then, when you're going through some of the things we just talked about and you're vacillating between decisions that need to be made. And if you feel like you'd like a little more support talking things through, then I also offer a Clarity Kickstart mini session. It's only about 20 minutes long, and it's just enough space for you to figure out what's mattering most to you right now and to maybe help you walk through with just one clear action step on this decision that you need to make. So I'm going to drop the link below in the comments. There's no cost whatsoever. And you can schedule a call. It's only 20 minutes. And then drop the word willpower if you would like me to email you that decision-making guide. And for now, as we finish up here, I just want you to simply notice what stood out today and giving yourself time to process. I think that's the biggest thing that I want you to take away from our chat tonight. Give yourself time to process and then go ahead and make the right decision for now. Just for now. Don't make that decision heavier than it needs to be, because you can always do something different later on.